Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. So today I'm talking about all the books I read, and for this vlog I decided to read all of the shortest books on my TBR since we're coming to the end of the month, and I sort of just wanted to pep up my energy. I find that if I've read a few books in a row that were DNFs that I didn't enjoy, reading short books gives you that sense of satisfaction, because even if you didn't like it, it didn't take up much of your time. So there's no win-lose situation, it's a win-win. So the first book I picked up is literally the shortest book I have ever read. It's only a few pages and it's called The Egg by Andy Weir. So there's not much I can say about this book. I'm going to see what the blurb says, because this is all about the plot twist, really. It's so short, but it does pack a punch. My mind was blown with the reveal. And basically it's a short story about the universe and your place in it. And I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. It had a very big impression. It made me ponder, it made me think with only a few short pages. So it was a very well delivered bombshell, really well done, that has you sitting there afterwards thinking about the concept of that and the reality of it. So basically the book opens with a guy who dies and he meets God, and sort of God tells him the meaning of his life. But yeah, I highly recommend this for such a short investment in time. It's worth checking it out. The next book I picked up is Woolgathering by Patti Smith. I love all of the cloud covers of this one, the retro one, the more modern one. I think it's really stunning. And this was a pleasant collection of poems that I really enjoyed. I think it mostly centers on a lot of that childhood curiosity and wonder and the birth of creativity that comes from when you're a child, and about then becoming an artist. And my favorite excerpt from this was from the poem A Bidding. I imagined a lot of things. That I would shine, that I would be good. I'd dwell bareheaded on a summit, turning a wheel that would turn the earth undetected amongst the clouds. I would have some influence, be of some avail. So it really is just a lovely book of poetry filled with childhood magic and possibilities. And that was Woolgathering by Patti Smith. The next book that I picked up was another poetry book, because naturally they're the shortest. And this was Ariel by Sylvia Plath. Oh my dudes, this is so dark. If my friend had written this, I would know without a doubt that my friend was definitely not okay. It's really, really heavy. And it was kind of depressing for me. I would say my favorite poem is The Moon and the Yew Tree. That was stunning. She was definitely a very talented writer, but yeah, the tone and the substance was just a lot. You know, I would not recommend probably reading it if you're not in a good mental space. And that was Ariel by Sylvia Plath. The next book I picked up was another poetry book. This was called I Would Leave Me If I Could by Halsey, who is a quite famous singer, and I really do enjoy her music. She's also a phenomenal artist. In this book, once again, there are heavy themes. There is a lot of the subject matter of SA comes up a lot. There were also a lot of plastic plants getting watered in this. Look, collection of poetry does feel like an angry teenager writing song lyrics or even slam poetry.
Cynthia, Jesus died for our Cynthias. Jesus cried, runaway bride. Julia Roberts, Julia Rob hurts.
But it was very readable. It's easy to read because of that. It didn't wow me, but I still enjoyed my time with it. And the last book I picked up for this particular vlog is called Nothing But the Rain by Naomi Salmon. Oh wow. Okay, so I gave this 4 stars, and it's about a town where one day something happens to the rain, to the water, all of the water. If it touches your skin, you lose memories, you lose sense of time. For instance, if you go and take a bath, you're not even going to remember to know how to eat, and you're just going to waste away and starve to death. And the inhabitants of this town don't know why this is happening. They can't leave. The perimeter is patrolled by these beings. They're not sure if they're human because they're just in head to toe, like latex, these big giant rubber suits, which was giving me the BioShock vibes, with, you know, automatic rifles and the turret machine guns. So they can't leave. They don't understand what's happening or why. They are getting airdropped food, non-perishable food. And it's said through the eyes of an elderly Black woman, I believe, who's writing things down so that she doesn't forget, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And it's very bleak, it's dark, it's that whole thing. Do you just continue in that kind of despair-filled life, but survive, live, like continue to live, but with the absolute minimum of what you need to be a happy human being? Or do you take the risk to try and get out? Do you choose possible death for the chance at a fulfilled life? You know, a life where you are free. It's like that whole, I'm alive, but I'm a prisoner. Or do I want to risk dying to be a free person and to choose how I live and what I do with my life? So it was fascinating. It's, like I said, once again, short and quick. The ending is so frustrating. It made me so angry. I understand. But boy, oh boy, it killed me. I'm like, couldn't there have been another way? I don't want to give anything away, but that was something, and it just ends and you're just left there grappling with the choices that were made and the consequences of those choices. So yeah, 4-star read. It was really enjoyable, to be honest, and I love short books. I stan a short queen, what can I say? Especially if they got some kind of twist or there's some philosophical musing, pondering, something that gets your brain going and thinking and chewing on it long after you've finished it. They're my favorite kind of short stories. I also love poetry. It's hard to find one that really speaks your language, but I think it's rare for me to read a poetry book that I hate. At most, it'll just be meh. So poetry is something I also really enjoy, but short books are fantastic. It's, to me, once again, it's not about the page number. It's about the quality of the content within those pages. So those were all of the books I read for this short vlog. So let me quickly sum them up again. We have The Egg, which is the shortest book I have ever read and was jaw-dropping with the twist. And I gave that 4.5 stars. Then there was Woolgathering by Patti Smith, which was a pleasant collection of poems. I did enjoy my time with them. Then I read Ariel by Sylvia Plath, astonishing writer, but it was quite depressing for me, especially knowing how she met her end. Then there was I Would Leave Me If I Could by Halsey, which was fine. It was fine. It was quick, easy to read. Also, though, covering dark material, but because of the nature of the poems, it wasn't as depressing as Ariel by Sylvia Plath. And you do learn quite a little bit about Halsey and her life in that. And then I finished it off with Nothing But the Rain, which was 4 stars and a really interesting sort of, I guess what you call it, speculative fiction read. So until next time, stay wild, Star Child.